Hello, Oracles. Well, split week is upon us, and the run we thought we were going to get into the split might be running in the wrong direction. Nothing wrong with this. Again, if you guys followed last Friday on the live stream, we discussed the cup and handle pattern that we are on right now. It's pretty textbook, and we can definitely get a channel downward before a V bounce coming back up to all-time highs or a breakout. So this is not a concern for me going into the split, even though we're coming down. The macro environment right now, everything has been pulling down. Since the Fed minutes came out last week, we have had a very strong sell-off in the entire market. And just like we have done all year long, Tesla is following suit. So again, not a big concern for me. Crypto was down this morning. Tesla's down about 2% pre-market at the time of this recording. So we have some information coming out this week for the macro environment. We've got the second GDP data coming in. This is just the second report. We got the first one last month indicating that we are in a recession by 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. So this is going to be the second report to go off of that. And then we will get the final report in another month from now. We also have the PCE numbers that are coming in this week. That is going to go over the inflation rates for the US as well, discussing more about that. These are some more data points that the Fed uses to determine what they are going to do for interest rates going up. So a big reason that we had gotten the sell-off starting last week was because Fed Bullard and Fed George came out supporting a higher interest rate hike. Fed Bullard is the most hawkish Fed out there, and he suggested a 75 basis point hike for the September FOMC meeting is on the table and what they should do. Now, in listening to Chicken Genius, he's discussing how, realistically, inflation is still extremely high, and the Fed is going to be raising rates in a recessionary environment. So, things could get ugly in the future. Now, this is just Chicken Genius saying this. He is smart and he's been right about some things in the past. So it's just one of the pieces of information that I keep in the back of my head as a potential going forward. Looking at long drawn out charts, this could have been what we had just seen recently when we broke out of the NASDAQ into a bull market again, could have just been a bear market rally. Is that true? We won't know until we get a little further along down the road, but some people are thinking it was a bear market rally and we can still come down from here as well. So the levels I'm looking for Tesla right now, on the way down are 840 is the next support. Below that, $800 is a psychological support. Below that is $776 as a gap to fill. And then below that is $742 for the next gap and the next support level. So these are just the levels that I'm paying attention to. Again, when it comes to the fundamentals, the fundamental portions of Tesla are growing and getting stronger. We just got some great information over the weekend from Elon saying that his two main focuses for the year are getting Starship to orbit and getting the FSD wide release put out there. So, he said there's many other things that are a focus as well, but those are the two giant kahunas that he is focusing on at the moment. And over the weekend, he also tweeted out that FSD pricing is going to go up as of September 5th. It is now currently $12,000. It is going to be going up to $15,000 on September 5th. He did remind everyone that if you are a Tesla owner and you do want to upgrade and add FSD, it only takes 2 minutes to do it through the Tesla app. So now looking at profitability for Tesla, this is massive. So, people who want to do this, it's no extra work to Tesla. The software is already there. It is already in all of these vehicles. So somebody can just go, spend 2 minutes, $15,000. Tesla literally did nothing and they just made $15,000 for every single customer that wants to upgrade to this. Now, some people are arguing, well, that's going to be less people who want it. It's going to deter more people because FSD, even though 10.69 looks pretty awesome right now, it's still not fully functional FSD level 4 autonomy. Totally get it, we know this, but there's some people who do want to be on the forefront of technology, and looking at the fact that we could be going to a wide release later this year, there's a lot more customers that are going to be coming online to FSD beta who may want to take advantage of this and be at that forefront. So I think it is going to be a net gain for Tesla and profitability at the end of the year, and then going into next year, don't forget we have the EV tax credit. So you tack on the EV tax credit, and a $15,000 FSD package now becomes a $7,500 FSD package, which goes back to pricing from years ago. So again, that's just playing with the numbers, and who knows what Tesla is going to do with the pricing of their vehicles when it comes to the EV tax credit. But you've got to look at the fact that Tesla now has even more pricing power. And now some other questions that I had is, a $15,000 FSD package could put several vehicles over the $80,000 price cap when it comes to the EV tax credit. So how is Tesla going to work this? Are they going to work the pricing of the vehicle down, even with the FSD package, to make sure that they qualify? Or are they going to do an after add-on when it comes to FSD? One of the thoughts that I had, especially when it comes to my vehicle, is, my vehicle would still qualify either way. Even if I added it on, my vehicle is $60,000, adding it on to $75,000, I still qualify. But what about the other vehicles that do not qualify? Are they going to do FSD as an after add-on? Just like they're telling customers right now, in 2 minutes, you can upgrade this on your app and you can get FSD. So did they do a package where, hey, here's the vehicle price, your vehicle is going to qualify for the EV tax credit, and then you can add on FSD afterwards, and you can still lump that payment into your financing? That was the big question for me. People who are going to pay for it outright, not a big deal. But when you're going to be putting it into financing, $15,000 is a good chunk. You want to probably finance that as well if you are going to be financing your vehicle. That's what I am doing. So this is a question that I have, and I have no doubt that Tesla is going to address this. Elon has said himself that the prices of their vehicles are embarrassingly high. So maybe they bring down the pricing of the vehicles. Maybe that's why they are going up on the pricing of FSD, to kind of give them that $3,000 bump, so they can bring down the prices of their vehicles and then still have them all qualify for the EV tax credit. I have faith and confidence that Elon and Tesla are going to do the right thing for all their customers, but it's also going to benefit Tesla as well. That seems to be the decision making that Tesla does, and they do it very well. It's a win-win decision making benefit for everyone. So we'll see how this plays out at the end of the year. When it comes to FSD wide release also, that's going to be huge for North America. And then the UK had also discussed how they're looking to have a roadmap put up for full autonomy vehicles on the road for 2025. So now this is looking like, okay, well, now we want to get FSD over into Europe, into the UK. And I know that this is obviously something that we are discussing and getting over to. So if we are going to be getting FSD beta on the roads wide release in North America, I have no doubt very soon we will see this happen over in the UK and the EU. And that just means more revenue and profit coming in from FSD globally, and an opportunity for the neural nets to be able to learn the roadways when it comes to the UK and Europe and the EU, because they have slightly different roads over there, and they have different edge case scenarios that the neural nets would be able to learn, which would just make the entire FSD system that much smarter. And one of the great benefits that I thought about when it comes to full autonomy, and I know it's going to take a long time for all vehicles on the road to be fully autonomous, but when you start putting fully autonomous vehicles on the road, you can then be a lot safer. You have computers that are driving these vehicles that are, can see and do a lot more than humans can do. Humans are limited by our own sight. Not everybody has perfect 20/20 vision. People, as you age, your vision starts to go down, and then all of a sudden your hearing isn't as good. Humans aren't perfect like a computer would be. So computers can theoretically, if you had all fully autonomous vehicles on the road, they could obey speed limits that were much higher than we have right now. They could theoretically determine what is the safest speed that they could drive at right now based upon whether our vehicles are on the road, what the conditions are of the road, what's going on with weather. They could drive significantly faster. Maybe speed limits are like 125 miles an hour, 150 miles an hour. Maybe there are no speed limits put out there anymore just because the vehicles know that they are going to drive at whatever the safest speed limit is for them. This is a good potential for the future. And then you start looking at traffic. Traffic can go away. Yesterday, all day long, I was driving around with my kid. All we wanted to do was go get lunch, and we were stuck in traffic for 40 minutes on the highway. Totally ridiculous. That could all go away. And then you can have AI traffic lights and traffic signals. You get into heavier congested areas, you've got traffic signals to determine what cars, can go when and where, but they can anticipate, they can see where the traffic flow is going. They can, have it all mapped in there. They have connections with all the vehicles on the road. They can anticipate the traffic lights like, oh, we've got 30 vehicles coming this direction right now, but only 2 coming from this way. Timing-wise, they're going to get here at this time, so I can let these 2 go to keep that flow going faster, and then let these 30 go on this side. This AI can all be computed at insanely fast rates. And then you think about some areas that, maybe there's a light where you could go there, and I'm sure you guys have all witnessed it before. You're sitting at a light and there's nobody around, and you're just waiting for that light to turn green. Happens all the time. Well, guess what? Maybe some of those lights can be eliminated because the vehicles will all talk to each other. And the vehicles will know, hey, I'm coming here at this point, I'm traveling at this speed, you're coming here at this point, you're traveling at this speed, I can go safely before you come through on the intersection at the same time. So traffic can just flow. A lot of like those videos that you see that are all choreographed and flowing through. Realistically, when we have all fully autonomous vehicles on the road, that can happen. That can be reality because autonomy at that point will be so much far advanced than it is right now that those things can be reality. Obviously, way, way far down the road, but this is the direction that we are heading, and this is the very, very start of getting into that direction. Eliminating the majority of traffic signals that are out there, thinking about all the power that is used and energy that is used to run those traffic lights. If you can eliminate 80% of those and only have certain traffic lights in heavily congested areas, you can save a lot of electricity that can then be used in other areas. And I think with FSD, this is what is going to end up happening in the future. We will have basically a virtual traffic grid, and they will all have mapped out themselves. I mean, think about it when you're driving around using Google Maps, Apple Maps. You've got traffic on there. It shows you where the congested areas are, and that's just a very basic line of that kind of technology. You start putting in, higher resolution stuff, better data that goes into it. They can all intercommunicate. You can get very specific when it comes to any traffic in any areas. Plus, if you've got all fully autonomous vehicles on the road, there shouldn't even be any traffic because they can all anticipate what is happening when, if there's construction that's going on, they can all avoid that and get through. I'd be really interested to see how much traffic congestion would alleviate, especially when it comes to like construction and stuff like that, if all the vehicles were autonomous. You wouldn't have vehicles getting pulled over on the side of the road, so that's one less traffic area that goes away. You wouldn't have cars getting into accidents because accidents would be very infrequent, so you would eliminate all of that traffic that's going on. So lots of different things for the positivity of the future when it comes to traffic. So very excited about that. But coming back to the present day, the stock price right now is not flowing in the direction that many of us thought, and we may not get that run up into the split. Maybe we see red today and then a little bit of green tomorrow and Wednesday going into the split on the last minute. But because a lot of people were anticipating a run up and we didn't get it, I think there's probably a lot more people right now who are anticipating waiting till afterwards, getting that post-split sell-off, and then buying in at that point. And because we didn't get much of a run-up, maybe we don't get as much of a sell-off. Again, I think at this point we're going to be following the macro environment, save the next 2 days or so just going into the actual split itself. Otherwise, I think we are going to be following the macro for the near future. But I think where we're really going to be turning around is when we get those production and delivery numbers on October 2nd for Q3. Then I think we are going to see a massive run. Again, that timing could all be swayed in many different directions. A lot of different things can happen. This is just based on the data that I have right now, what my gut is telling me we are going to see. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys feel about the FSD pricing going up? Do you think this is going to lead to much bigger profits for Tesla later this year in both Q3 and Q4 since it's getting released on September 5th? Do you think that's going to factor in? And do you think when we go to wide release, do you think we're going to get it by the end of the year? And how many people do you think are going to take that up for a $15,000 FSD price? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon, that link is also in the description. Thank you so much, have a great one.